Daumendaddler.
Osten ist in die Richtung.
I'm sorry. I'll just be a minute.
You had a minute. Next one comes out.
Was ist denn das für eine? Konzernwache. Ja, da drin, oder?
I've always felt weird in here. It's too clean.
Hallo.
Yes, what is it? You're an outsider. Fantastic. Vicar Maximilian de Soto at your service. Or Vicar Max if you're the sort who prefers brevity. And Ms. Holcomb as well. How rare to see you out. And with a complete stranger. Curious.
Just tagging along, Vicar DeSoto. Don't mind me.
I so rarely get new people to talk to. Name your poison, anything at all. Spiritual counseling, this season's tossball predictions, the quickest way out of town.
Parvati wollte mit dir reden, darüber, worum Reed uns gebeten hat.
What? I thought you would talk to him.
You wanted to speak to me, Ms. Holcomb? Every time I've tried to engage you in conversation, you look at the floor, answer in single words, and slink away. I can't imagine what would be so grave as to drive her to my mission. What has Mr. Thompson asked you to do? Depriving them of safety from the marauders and wildlife. I can see why that troubles you. Miss Holcomb has a soft heart. Always has, if you believe the
Aha.
They rejected the order of society and live beyond the walls so thoughtfully provided by our Spacer's Choice patrons. Does that strike you as a responsible life choice?
Mir fehlt wirklich die Intelligenz.
Assuming your goal is to save as many as possible, then you should bring everyone together. Send the power to Edgewater and convince the deserters to return to the fold. Not if things are left to stand as they are. If you don't mind a bit of unsolicited advice, be cautious on your way to the geothermal plant. It is not as safe as you might assume.
Das habe ich mir schon vorgestellt.
One of the reasons I transferred here was to fulfill my duty in hunting down banned heretical texts. I happen to know such a book is, as we speak, tainting a collector's library in Emerald Vale. However, the collector's residence lies outside the town's walls.
Ah, da waren wir, glaube ich,
My
schon.
retrieval efforts have been thwarted by marauders who have overrun the property. Should you fare better than me, I'd pay a handsome sum for the book.
Eine ansehnliche Summe, sagst du? Reden wir mal.
I just want to keep the writing out of layman's hands. It wouldn't do for such information to fall into public consumption. Glad we see eye to eye. It's a handwritten journal, a faded blue cover with the name M. Bakonu handwritten in the lower corner. I'll mark where I saw it on your map.
Ich habe den Map.
Assuming you're serious? Thank you. If you retrieve it, you can always find me here.
Oh yeah. So, 10 Stück, ha? Mir hat Intelligenz fehlt. Wo kriege ich Intelligenz her? Nirgends. Was? Ah, das waren die Dinger. Aber hier habe ich die Karte. Da müsste ich dann hin. Okay. Wo sind die anderen zwei Bewohner? Ja, von wo kam ich denn jetzt raus?
You're not a big drinker, are you?
Bin slow.
Never seen you here before. You a visitor? Welcome. On behalf of the Spacer's Choice family, let me welcome you
Was?
where am I again? Edgewater, jewel of the Vale. May the law bless our beloved cannery with 100 years of, what's it called?
Der ist voll.
Productivity. That's the one. Yep, that's us. Productive. Oh, it's fine. I'm only on my third bottle. I don't start heaving up my guts as long as I can count to 3. Company lets me imbibe as much zero-G brew as I can afford. Even gave me a discount on account of my injury. You jealous yet?
Hast du eine Verletzung?
Got my mid stuck in a rotor wheel. Shredded my wrist up real good. Conrad went and sewed up my hand, but I couldn't do much about the pain. Boss was real generous to me, though. Got myself a 5% discount on zero-G brew. After the second bottle, the only pain I feel is emotional.
Braucht nicht hier
Hey,
oben.
Conrad's a surgeon. Well, he's a barber. That's like surgery, but for your hair.
You read the latest report?
Only the part that said we ain't making our quotas.
I don't know you.
Kenn ich auch nicht.
Amelia Kim, Spacer's Choice Beverage Dispenser. I don't know what you're about, but this here's a Spacer's Choice drinking establishment. We're all loyal, hard-working company folk here. You really think so? That's kind of you. I've been trying to keep the floors clean.
Da wollte man ein bisschen nett
No
sein.
idea how long it takes to scrub the tiles. Guess I misreckoned you. Sorry about that. I didn't mean to be curt. We just got some problems lately. I can get you a drink if you'd like. Gotta ask you to enjoy your beverage within the premises, though. Can't risk you bringing a drink over to those deserters. You understand. Coming right up.
Aha. Will ich nicht. Ich kein Geld aus für Getränke. Mir fehlen noch 2 weitere Leute.
Oh, I cut my own hair. But Conrad sells real good disinfectant.
Dein Ernst? Wackeln mit den Augenbrauen.
can I do for you?
Du Arschloch.
You know about Eugene? How? Then, you know Phyllis suggested selling off Eugene's gold teeth. I didn't approve of the idea then, and I don't approve of it now. Eugene's golden teeth were a family heirloom, representing 3 generations of poor dental hygiene. He took them to his grave. That's unthinkable. Eugene's body and all rare earth minerals contained therein are solely the property of Spacer's
Langsam
choice.
habe ich wirklich das
I can't
Bedürfnis,
ask
Space
Silas
Choice
to dig up a
umzubringen.
man's body and pry a few teeth loose from his jaw just to pay my bills. Can I?
Are you asking rhetorically? Because if you're being serious... Ugh, gross.
Desperate measures, Miss Holcomb. Desperate measures. I'm going to have to ask Silas to dig up those teeth. It's the only way I'm paying my gravesite fees. I'm sure that I have no other choice. Here you are. Gravesite papers affixed with my signature
Gut.
and an IOU. Eugene was not a suicide. He put a bullet in his brain, yes, but that's largely a technicality. I was the one who prepared Eugene's body for interment. I discovered symptoms of the plague on his corpse, and I discovered medicine in his pocket. Lots of medicine. Eugene overdosed on adrenatime, which is known to cause psychosis and paranoia as possible side effects. The paranoia drove him to take his own life.
Das ist ja schrecklich.
It's a miracle of bureaucracy. If Eugene's death were filed as a suicide, we'd all pay the price for his crime. We can all thank our lucky stars that young Eugene was hopped up on medication and suffered its predictable side effect. I included it all in my official report. I'd like to think I saved Edgewater a great deal of money. We never could have paid the fines associated with a suicide.
Ich habe die Befürchtung, dass es extra so gemacht hat. Ja, wo sind die anderen 2?
Heard something outside the walls today.
Nothing for us.
I'm not allowed in here. Not since the vending machine incident.
Holcomb.
Was?
Got my eye on you, girl.
You think
Mir fehlen
Ben's
aber noch
ever
2.
gonna cover?
Ich muss noch 2 andere suchen. Gerade hier in der Fabrik. Holla.
I've got some time. Oh, I'm an actuary. That means I keep tabs on a worker's living expenses. How much it costs to feed, clothe, shelter, bury, and replace your average human worker. Technically, I'm employed by the Spacer's Choice Department of Human Resources.
Dann lass ich euch mal.
Friend of mine died a couple weeks back. Still ain't past it.
Nothing I can do about that.
Dann frage ich mich, wo die anderen 2 sind. Das ist dann ihre Wohnung, ja?
Something you need? That's on account of how I never met her. I don't rightly know. She was in another division of the Spacer's Choice family. She worked in the Vale a few months, sorting the cannery computers. Her contract said any kids she had, expected or not, belonged to her office from the time of conception.
Alter.
So when I was born, I got sent here. It's sensible. Dad just fixed machines. She did some kind of crazy math, high-level stuff. Better to raise me on his time than hers. You mean about the mission being too clean? I know, but Vicar says the universe is a machine, that it runs by law. Real machines have gunked up oil, scratches, and worn bits. You can tell they've seen handling, been used by folk. The machine Vicar sees is one ain't never been run. It's not for people to live in. It's something on a museum shelf, under glass. It just comes off cold to me, is all.
Was ist das? Ein Zeichen. Ah, Verlauf.
There was a kind of a thing with a vending machine when I was 12. Not intentionally. I've always been good with my hands, right? So I saw a lock on the machine and thought, oh, this must be how they refill it. But I had to know. So I did my thing. And next thing I know, there's a couple hundred bottles of 0G rolling out the front door and into the road.
Lachen wir
Not
mal.
funny. Right about then, a bunch of loaders came rolling in the gate, fresh off the Saltuna ships. And Mr. Thompson was up on the porch making a speech about how everyone would have to volunteer a third shift to get it all canned. Anyhow, you ever seen an auto loader run over a bottle of 0G? Exploded all over Mr. Thompson. One bottle after another as the loader I was just shy of working age, so Dad had to pay all the damages. Rose still angry at me. I can laugh about it now, but I just about puked up my guts in terror in the moment. That's the one time I ever made Mr. Thompson look a fool. Sorry. I know it's none of my business. It's not like I think it a failing, mind. It's just I live right across the road. Most nights I watch folks out my window. When they come in here, they might be happy or sad. Mostly they're tired. When they leave, they're mad at themselves. Or they stumble into the alley and I listen to their hearts breaking. There's been scary nights. But Constable Reyes is right up the road. She keeps an orderly town.
Okay.